please join me in welcoming our Governor, Jay Inslee.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Nathan. That was a really nice introduction. I appreciate it. I appreciate you applauding Trudy's marriage to me for 47 years. I will report that you were giving her your condolences, so I appreciate that. Nathan, thanks for your reference to our environment. I know that that is a personal matter with you. You've started a landscaping business with your son. That's pretty exciting. And it's exciting to me that we have 2,000 people here who can help on that effort. And, you know, we actually can. We know that everybody in the world is united in a common cause right now to defeat the climate crisis that is threatening us. It's certainly threatening us here in Washington State, where forest fires have burned our fires in the Wenatchee area, and we have increasing acidification of Puget Sound now. We lost 150,000 salmon last year. The water was so hot in the Columbia River that the salmon actually could not survive. And I mention this because as I was walking up here, I was thinking about how this conference is a demonstration how we all can be united in a common effort, even though you don't think of yourself maybe as climate warriors in your job. I'll just give you an example of what I mean by that. I went to a ribbon cutting in Roosevelt, Washington, a couple of weeks ago at the site of one of the largest landfills in the United States. It's in Roosevelt, Washington. And I went to a ribbon cutting of a new plant that is really cool because it captures the methane that comes from the landfill that would otherwise go into the atmosphere. And methane is a terrible climate change gas. And it takes that gas and it cleans it using a whiz-bang technology. It's called cryogenic nitrogen removal. And they take the nitrogen out of the methane, and then they put the methane in pipes and pipe it down to California, where we now are using clean biogas instead of dirty diesel. Now, this is a long story, but stick with me for a minute. So what is happening right now in California is they grow oranges. They truck the oranges up to our grocery stores. We eat the oranges. Then we put our rinds into our garbage, and the rinds go to the landfill in Roosevelt, Washington, and the bacteria chew them up. And then the gas comes out, and we clean the gas through this brand new innovative strategy. And then we ship the gas down to California, where we fill the trucks up with biogas and bring more oranges up to Washington. What a beautiful virtuous cycle that are going on right here in Washington State. Now here's the moral of this story. That plant can only be there if we permit the construction of these plants. If the Department of Ecology and our other resources, agencies have an efficient, lean system of doing a permitting process so we can build these plants to bring renewable energy jobs to the state of Washington. How about a round of applause for the Department of Ecology that's using lean systems to really bring permitting. So the fact of the matter is, when we make progress in the state of Washington, our agencies in some way are involved. In your personal leadership, I just want to really thank you for of every day, every week, looking for ways to improve our performance. Now, I'm really encouraged by the Lean Conference. We now have over 2,000 people here today, including some of our neighbors from Canada. We have 100 volunteers who are volunteering their time to help us on this journey. So I'm glad to have an opportunity to both recognize your leadership and share your stories across the state of Washington, because we want you to crow about your successes. I'm giving you license to be a little bit boastful. There is a place for humility in life, but it isn't about lean management. I want you to tell your stories to your families and your churches and your social circles about what you're doing, because we need to be proud about what we're doing, and we need to have the support of the state of Washington for what you're doing. Between 2013 and 2018, We've had over 6,500 improvement projects, and there have been 39,000 employees who have received lean training. We are bringing scale to this endeavor, and it's moving the needle. Now, I know that lean isn't just about accomplishments or getting trained. It's a mindset on how we work. It's about thinking critically about problems before jumping to the solution. And it's about involving our customers to get them involved in the design of our workplace. So I'd like to challenge all of us to take the next big step, because the lean movement is just a series of steps, right? You never finish this project. It's a way of life and work. It means integrating service delivery across our government agencies so that our customers don't bounce back and forth amongst agencies. We had a results meeting a few weeks ago. I met a woman named Jennifer Bearskin, who told me about her difficulty going from agency to agency to get state benefits for her efforts to get back up on her feet. And I know that the lean process can help, and we started that during that meeting, to integrate our agencies so that the customer has sort of a seamless way to get their work done and don't have to bounce between agencies. And I appreciate that work. There's a lot of things we can do that. It means having common and easier forms to fill out. It means using plain talk in our communications. It means working with our colleagues in other agencies to create that seamless transition. Bottom line, it's about looking at the state government through the eyes of the people we serve rather than our co-workers all the time. And I want to thank you in your efforts to do that. Now, I want to get back just a moment about where I started in this issue about our existential threat of the climate crisis. I want you to know that we're not alone in this effort. I think it's pretty cool. I was in New York at the United Nations Climate Summit a couple weeks ago. There's a woman named Greta Thunberg there, a 16-year-old young woman from Sweden. And she represents the young people on this planet. And I want to tell you, I'm inspired by them. I was in Spokane, Washington 2 weeks ago, just before I left for the climate summit in New York. And there was almost 1,000 students from Spokane demanding that their elders not destroy the planet. And that is a language that I believe we have to respond to. And I think this Lean conference can help us do that by finding ways that our state agencies can be joined with people around the globe who are going to try to save us from the climate crisis. And we're making progress on this, and I want to thank you for that. Today, we are very close to hitting our target of having 50,000 electric vehicles registered in our state. Isn't it great to think there's 50,000 cars on our road today with no tailpipes? That's a beautiful thing, and we're making that happen. This is translated to reducing carbon pollution by over 235,000 metric tons of carbon dioxide a year. So I think we should give a shout out to Sadiq Simmons with the State Department of Licensing, because his team has made it easier for everyone in the state of Washington to have access to the data on our battery electric and plug-in electric vehicles and charging stations registered in the state. Thank you, Sadiq, for what you're doing using lean systems. Now, this is a small thing, but it is allowing everyone in the state to have access to an open platform on data.wa.gov, which is automatically updated in real time. And this data is information that's helpful to our customers, our state agencies, and our county and local governments. And this is the kind of thing that excites me on the road to progress to defeating climate crisis. So Sadiq's not alone. I know everybody in this room has a story to tell. And those stories are things that I think we should celebrate. It's a story of the Department of Ecology replacing paper financial management reports with automatic electric reports. It's resulted in annual savings, get this, of 340,000 pages that we didn't have to copy. That's $55,000 in printing costs. Small thing, but when you multiply that across the state government, it means we have money for early child education for our kids and financial aid for our kids and better pay for our teachers. That's what we're doing here. We're freeing up resources to be able to do great things for people. It's the Department of Revenue that has doubled the percentage of our employees that can telecommute, that can do their work so they're not clogging up I-5, and they can be at a place to do this work efficiency. It's the State Patrol Fire Training Academy that has reduced printing of classroom materials, resulting in savings of over $15,000. And I know there's thousands of these stories across the state of Washington. So I've come this morning to say thank you on behalf of the citizens of Washington, and to say that I hope you feel pride in what you're doing. I hope you'll share your success stories with everyone that you can, and that when we meet next year, you'll be able to give me some great stories to brag on you about. Let's make sure we keep this ball rolling. Congratulations. Thanks a lot. Thank you.